Happy Friday, beautiful souls, and welcome to Spiritually Her. This is your safe space to explore the magic of inner work, grow your confidence, and embrace your self worth as the ultimate superpower. I'm Terrika-Surrenity, your host and guide on this transformative journey. Here, we're breaking barriers, we're rewriting our stories, and stepping fully into that girl energy together. So grab your favorite drink, let's settle in, and let's vibe. Your next level starts right now. All right, happy Friday to my spiritual besties, and welcome back to yet another powerful episode of Spiritually Her. All right, where we do the inner work, confidence, and a little spiritual magic just to help you step into your finest and baddest self, period. All right, so today we're diving into ancestral power, spiritual gifts, awakenings, and something that has been deeply misrepresented, Lord, I can't say the word, misunderstood, which is hoodoo. All right, so I could not have any other or better guest to walk us through this than the radiant Denay. All right, so Denay is a spiritual mentor, intuitive healer, and a psychic medium who isn't just talking about the path. Trust me, y'all, she's walking it daily. As a proud hoodoo practitioner and herbalist, she blends ancestral wisdom with modern day spiritual healing to help others wake up to their magic and walk boldly in their divine purpose. She's helped so many people reconnect with their intuition, heal generational wounds, and remember who they are. Danae's presence is powerful. Trust me, guys, I'm feeling it already. Her energy is amazing and her wisdom is ancestral. And today she's bringing all of that to the community of Spiritually Her. So grab your tea, your Florida water, whatever you need, guys, and even your journal, because this one is going to be sacred and spicy. So, everybody, let's welcome Danae.
Oh, hello.
All right, Danae, we're so happy to have you here
Thank you.
today. And I can already feel that some gems are going to be dropped,
I,
and I already know it. And well, if you could you give us also just a little bit of a background of you and how you started on your journey?
absolutely. So thank you so much for having me here. That introduction was beautiful. I'm gonna have to start using using that now on. Um, but a little bit about me. Well, so I have the experience of growing up in a household where having spiritual gifts were not highly looked upon, right? They were frowned upon. We were told they were demonic, all these things. So I didn't get to share much, but I was always told I had the spirit of an old person. Okay. So this is like 7 years old, right? I started to kind of remember who I was ancestrally when I'd speak out on it. Oh no, don't talk like that. Don't say that.
Mm.
Right. Um, so I had to close it all off. I had to shut it down, throw away the key. Um, gosh, thinking about it is harsh because now as I'm older, I had my spiritual awakening, gosh, beginning in 2014, and then everything slowly, very very slowly, seemed to progress to where I'm at now. This time 10 years ago, you wouldn't have told me, "Oh, Danae, you know that you can, you can learn how to use herbs to heal yourself. Oh, did you know that you can not only can you talk to dead folks, you know how to cross them over as well. Like, like I'd have been like, what are you talking about, demon? Can you
Like, wait a minute, what?
but slowly but surely, everything started to just come together and it flowed. I was put in alignment with so many different opportunities to learn and grow. And mm, I will share this. Everything really started to pop up once I started my ancestral altar
Mm,
and really began to have conversations with them and asking them for real, like, what do y'all want, like what's going on, let's work with each other.
yeah.
And since then it just whew. Like everything just expanded, and it feels like it was overnight, but really it's been in the making, well, since the beginning. But I've I've been able to piece together why certain things happened, like within the last 5 to 6 years. This happened because of this, so that you can gain this. You moved all the way over here so that you can receive this, right?
Yes.
Um, and without rhyme or reason, everything has just come together. And I know I'm kind of speaking in, like, I guess, riddle, right?
No, I get it.
But if you know, you know, right? If you're in alignment,
Yes.
this will make exact sense to you. Um, but it was just one of those. It's one of those things that just have to happen. It had to happen for me the way that it did, so that I would be open to hearing the call, so that I
Mm.
would be available spiritually, mentally, physically. I had to be available through each step from my initial awakening in 2014 till now. Everything has happened, especially the way that it needed to be, so that I could be here right now, having this experience with you, having this experience with me after you've
Yes.
gone through your experience as well.
Yes.
How spirit just brings everything together as it should, and it's absolutely beautiful. Ooh, goosebumps! It's absolutely beautiful, and it seems like every moment of the day I am just in awe. I am in awe of the gifts. I'm in awe of the opportunities. I'm in awe of the knowing. I'm in awe of the discernment
Yes.
as well. Because being able to see, like, that doesn't look real, that doesn't sound right. We're gonna ask some more questions,
Yes.
that
That discernment is real.
yeah. So that's a little bit about me. I guess altogether, I've always known that I've had something. I remember as a child, I remember my uncle was on his deathbed, and I went to see him. I was little. I was like 4 or 5,
Oh, wow.
and maybe the oldest 6, but definitely 4 or 5. Because I remember I had a tantrum about my ball. We were in Newton, Mississippi, and my ball got kicked into the woods. Anyways, I remember that I was crushed. I had went to his deathbed. He was in the hospice, and I remember looking at him and saying, "Have you been a good person?"
Mm.
Like, yes. And I said, "Okay, then you will go to heaven." That's the last thing I remember saying to him. And I remember, well, I have the memory of my next step, because I was told that I just, like, walked out of the room and sat at the chair at the door and just, like, waited for everybody to be done talking to him. And I was just like, "What?" She's like, my grandma telling me this. She's like, "Yeah." That's when we knew, you know,
That you had a gift.
that's when we knew. And I'm like, "Why didn't you guys let me practice it?" And she was just like, "Because we weren't allowed to talk about that stuff."
Mm.
Like, it was taboo. Even though they all had it, even though they all did it, but you can't talk about it. So they had to show me, they had to teach me. Looking back on that, I'm like, oh, that's why you guys used to have me do that. That's
Mm.
why, uh, the certain songs were saying when we were picking the lima beans. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
like that. But now as I'm getting older and I'm working with my ancestors, that I'm seeing, like, oh, that's why. And that's why I have this. And that's why I have that. And that's why I do that. I listen to this song, you know, um, when I'm cleaning the greens. It's the whole. I'm like, thinking about my ancestors, thinking about my gifts. It just, I'm just so grateful and so thankful for them. And no one could ever tell me ever again in my entire life that anything of blackness, of
Mm.
African ancestry, of my spiritual ancestry is evil and demonic, because I have had nothing but goodness happen to me since I've actively participated in the mm, mm, in the spiritual practices of my ancestors. Even when I use, the Bible, it's still a part of it,
Yes.
still a part of my tradition. And yes, I have. you know, ancestry from Sierra Leone, from uh, New Guinea, from Liberia, right? All of these places. I still am allowed to use the tools that I know.
Yes.
I don't have to release everything that I've learned. I'm able to reprogram myself to use them based on the true nature that it was created for, right? The
Right.
was not over time it was changed. Over time it was used to oppress. However, originally it was for the remembrance of who we are and how we ourselves, right? Our spirit, our mind has the ability to create,
Yes.
has the ability to heal,
Mm-hmm.
has the ability to tap into all of the things that were created by a higher power, right? So your herbs, your crystals, those rocks, right? Oils, right? What are they? Casting lots. Casting lots. If you guys want to look that up.
Yeah, what is that?
Literally, it's where the priest would have these two rocks with these um insignias on them, different insignias on them, and they would throw them to tell to it was divination to tell what was going on, right? So
Mm-hmm.
they would call them casting lots, and they would throw them like how we shoot dice, like how we play dominoes, like how we have folks who read the bones, read the cowrie shells, read the coffee, read the whatever. It was a divination tool. All of that is in the Bible for us to use. Why would they say that these leaders over the temple, the church, right, were even Jesus was practicing? But I digress. Allow anybody to tell me that how I choose to live or venerate my ancestors or how I use the Bible, like none of that is of negative or low vibrational energy, especially if every time I'm using it is to help support me and my kids so that
Yes.
I need to provide for them, so that I can continue to have a strong mental health because it's something. And I don't care if you're, old, young, man, or woman. If you are somebody raising kids, whether single or even married and still feeling single, raising a family is difficult because
It is.
personality, it's the other parent's personality, whether if they're in the home or not, it's these kids' personalities.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, you have the personality of your house. But what I do, the spirit of your home, but what I do every day is nothing but make sure that my children and I are taken care of and at no harm to anybody, to no harm to myself or anyone else involved. Like I always just want the best for myself, for other people. So
That within itself is powerful.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I know I went off on a tangent. I feel like I needed to say that
No, it's okay.
to speak my truth. So thank you so much for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Ooh, like my whole throat chakra went whoop. It all opened up. Oh my God. Thank
That's good. That's okay because what I've learned, there are no coincidences. Somebody needed to hear that. You needed to say that. And I feel like there are a lot of people who have been misconstrued or led a certain way to believe that honoring your ancestors or the people that come before you is, it's always demonized or et cetera. And I feel like it's a lot of people that feel called to, and they feel that nudge too, but I think they have that fear. But how can you fear yourself? Because it is ultimately you.
right. Right.
It
You
is
all day, 365 days a year. It's
mm,
just all day, all night.
all day, all night. I know you told us the moment that you knew that you were spiritually gifted. You were four, around 4 or 5. Um, but let's see. Was it something because you stated that when you did speak on certain gifts or things, was it ever a time being so young where you rejected the gift because of maybe outside opinions or, family? Like I know you stated that they say, you can't really talk about it. And my family has done the same thing. Like I have a whole story. I'll tell you about that. But um, was there ever a time where being younger, you rejected it? And maybe possibly if during your spiritual awakening in 2014 is the time that you truly accepted it.
Mm. I did have to reject it. I felt like mm, forced to in a way, you know?
Hmm.
I just had like a memory across my face when I was at church. And it was like one of those like after choir rehearsal things popped
Hmm.
in my mind. And it reminded me of how I would be at church all the time and I would be wanting to tell people, you know, don't do this, this is about to happen. Or, there's this lady standing next to you. You know,
Like, watch out. Do you know that lady right there? Like, who?
like, I'm like, y'all don't see that? No. Okay. Right. So I had to, I had to like cut it off. Like I had to, because I'm like, they're gonna think I'm crazy. They're gonna put me, away. Um, no one understands. No one understands what I'm going through. No one understands, like, knows what I'm seeing. And those that I know that can see it, like in my own household, are in denial. Like, what?
Like, you don't see that. You don't see that. Yes, I do.
So even like they'd be like, don't they would like tell me to stop, don't talk about it, da 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 da. Even when it would be like something as simple as the phone would ring. Now this is when we had the cords in the wall.
The landline phones.
There you go. And I'm like, what is that?
We're so evolved now.
Or like it would be quiet, and I'd be like, oh, grandpa's about to call. They'd be like, what? No, he's not. 5 minutes later, a short amount of time, the phone would ring. It'd be grandpa, and I would do that all the time. They'd be like, don't do that anymore. And I'd be like, you don't want to know who's about to call,
Like, I'm giving you a heads up. Okay.
right?
Thank me.
You're like, no, it's okay. Okay. So yeah, it's like I was forced to cut it all off. But it would creep up, You can't these are things you can't conceal. After a while, they're gonna start poking out. It's similar to like how your shadow, if you keep it at bay, eventually it's gonna erupt. So
Yes.
it's the same thing. So yeah, I rejected the gifts and they never fully went away. Some things I did have to like call back though. But they never fully went away. I've always had a pretty strong intuition, whether if I listened to it or not, it was always right. Um, but yeah, it really didn't come back. And I remember it was 11/11/11, but it was like 2000, excuse me, November 11th, and then whatever that year would have been, 2000, whatever,
2000.
2019, 18.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
and so it would have been 11/11/11. And I remember I was, wishing upon a star. And I said, please, right, okay. Let me give you some background. On 11/11/11, that year, there was a lot of stuff going around, like within social media, for the spiritual community, talking about if you wanted anything in your life, today was the day that you asked for it, right? It was like the biggest manifestation day. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to ask for my gifts back, right? And I'm
Hmm.
like, please, wishing upon a star, please let me be able to see spirit again. Let me be able to hear them again. Let me be able to like really be the psychic that I know I'm supposed to be, right?
Hmm.
And then it was like quiet, nothing. I'm like, okay, well, we'll see. Mind you, that night I was in like a social group or whatever. That night it was over. We were all gone, and I was talking to the creators of the group, right? It was specifically, this group was for like ghost hunting. We were like, I was so into that kind of stuff. But we were ghost hunting, and it was after our event, and we were just sitting there talking. And I was just sitting there looking at them, and I was able to, and I just started telling them, like, your grandmother is with you. She's dancing. She's singing this song. He starts crying. He's like, she used to sing that song all the time. I said, she checks on you at night when you're sleeping. I grew up with her. She used to do that every night. My bed faced the door, so I would always see her checking on me. All right, cool. Um, the other guy, what happened with him? Oh, I was like, your uncle is with you. Um, your uncle, let me see, your uncle is with you. He's like, which one? And I was like, he taught you how to like be a man, like showing you different skills, like how to, I'm showing him, I am seeing him showing you how to balance your checkbook. He's like looking at me like, what? Like,
Like, how do you know this?
I'm like seeing this like long line of like men behind him. Like you have support, whatever you're going through, you have support, right? So that's when they slowly came back. And I was like, all right. Then we had gone to a one of these graveyards, and this group that I was with later on, a few months later, and we're standing there. The story of this place that we were at is that there was a lady there who basically like drunk herself to death, something like that.
Oh.
But she was still there weeping, and people would like bring her beer to stop her weeping because she was drinking because she was so depressed. Anyways,
Oh no.
I started with that. So anyways, we're at the graveyard and I hear this woman calling for her mom. And she's like, Mom. And I'm out loud talking about where's your mom? And there are people with me. They're looking around like, who are you talking to? I'm like, you guys don't hear this girl calling for her mom? They're like, no. Okay. End scene. We go on with the night. They're thinking they don't know what I'm talking about. We come back the next month to review what we captured. One of the men had a like the EVP.
Yeah.
And you hear on there, you hear a woman say, Mommy. And then you hear me say, Where's your mom? And they're like, What? And I'm,
Wow.
yes. Like, so that's how it all started. That's what it is for me. Did I answer your whole question? I know I went off.
No.
Okay.
Hey, there is no wrong way, no right way. Answer
Okay.
as authentically as it flows
Okay. Because
because
you're,
you ultimately answered.
yeah. Just put it together so it don't sound wild. But yeah, I had a long story short. Let's just repedal.
Okay.
Put my gifts. I asked for them back on 11/11/11, and that's when everything started to trickle in very slowly. Once I moved, but this was when I was living in California. Once I moved out here to the Gulf Coast in Mississippi,
Mm-hmm.
this was after my grandmother passed. Mind you, you always get your gifts when the matriarchs leave. Your big ones, in my opinion. Um,
Mm.
then, then like steadily more and more started coming in. Um, it was just, I don't know. Since everything has been going how it's been with my
Mm-hmm.
coming back and me being able to use them and uh, really allowing myself to just be who I am, it's been amazing. It's been really amazing. And I hope this for everyone to really allow yourself to just show up as who you are and be authentic, which, uh, and how we're in, however that shows up for you, however your authenticity shows up for you. I hope everyone receives that. It's a true gift. It really,
Yes.
true gift.
It really is. And I I just want to say I used to love like watching like ghost hunters. I used to be so intrigued with it to the point where a funny story. Okay, so with my family too was just like certain stuff I would say because I also have ADHD, so I'm very impulsive. So if I'm feeling something, I just say it. Like I don't sometimes read the room because I
Mhm.
feel like I'm so excited. Like, did you experience this? And my family, whew, they always told me like, girl, like chill, okay? But it was this one time, I think like when I went to sleep, it would be, oh my goodness, hold on. My phone is doing the most. Hold on, sorry. Okay. But yeah, it would be most of my stuff happens in my sleep time where I don't think I'm solely sleep. And I used to sleepwalk a lot and I would wake up in different places of the house and I have a sister who's 5 years older than me, and we shared a room. She was not going for it. And I also used to talk and have full-fledged conversations in my sleep. And my sister told my mom and my dad, was like, yeah, she has to move out. She cannot sleep in here with me. My sister, I think she had a different thing spiritually going on where she could actually see ghosts and everything. I haven't seen anything physically outside of, I think I saw somebody in my class with like an angel wings or etc. And but she's ended up seeing someone in our childhood home. It was a young girl, and she was walking to her bed, and she had like an upside down Bible. And my sister was just like, that ghost plus my little sister speaking and talking and walking around. Yeah, she has to go. So my parents put my room, well, my bed into the living room. Me being younger, I didn't realize that, girl, they thought you was weird and nobody wanted to be around you. I'm thinking, yeah, I get the room with that's big. I get the big TV. And my mom, she told me one day she woke up in the middle of the night and she saw me sitting Indian style, talking, full-fledged conversation. I have no recognition of none of this, but it would be times where I would know when someone is about to cross over.
Mhm.
And I would tell my mom, you need to call this person. You need to see them. You need to
Right.
like go speak to them because I had a dream that they were telling me bye, they were leaving and they were passing. And my mom was just like, no, we're not doing that. I don't need you being weird to other people. And honestly, it would be like a few hours later, she would get the call
Yeah.
that they passed over. And I think then they started to see, okay, she has some form of gift, but at I knew no one in my family that would speak of any certain gifts that they had
Mhm.
or anything. So I didn't know what to do. And I didn't like feeling like the odd person. So I rejected my own gifts until I grew up and I was like, I'm experiencing more stuff, but I'm curious about it. And I don't care if you see me as weird anymore. And the more that I accepted it, the stronger things got. The stronger it got. And yeah, my dreams are still lit. But so just to go into some more questions. So when it comes down to hoodoo
Mhm.
and how can one tell if they are being like initiated in that way to practice hoodoo?
If they're if they're being called to do it.
Yes.
Okay. Hmm. It might start off with something small, like maybe just an interest, right? You might hear about it, especially now with social media, everybody's hoodoo. But if you're truly being called and it's not something that you just want to do because you're thinking you're going to get your get back or you're going to get some like quick money, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't um, revolve around that, right? Hoodoo and historically, let me give you a little historical background before I get into that, right?
Okay.
So it was just, it was created during the times of our people being transported over here. They were enslaved. It was a way to not only maintain and preserve their ancestral knowledge from being back home in the homeland, but really it was a way for them to utilize what they knew for in order to protect themselves from the oppressors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a way of passing down generational, spiritual history. It just got passed down differently depending on where you were sent. Were you sent to Brazil? Were you sent to um, Haiti? Were you sent to Louisiana, Mississippi, Florida, South Carolina? Where were you sent? And then in those regions, they created their own types of hoodoo, right? There's
Mm.
Delta, there's the Appalachian, right? There's all these different forms. So not one way. So with that being said, there's not just one way to practice, right? There's even different family ways that they practice hoodoo, right? Where they're calling on the spirits of the herbs that they use. Like they understand that each thing has a spirit. Um, the herbs are used for healing and so forth and so on. So you need to understand that first. And if you're truly being called to the practice, then what you should consider is understanding, or how would you even realize that you were being called to it first? You just have this knowing that you're supposed to pick something up
Mm,
and use it. Like there's something just telling you, I could probably use this oregano to heal. Or I know that if I call on, or I'm being pushed to, conveyed to, speak to my ancestors, that could be your call into hoodoo. Maybe you're looking to reignite something in your soul creatively, and you're put into alignment with mm, even something just as simple as reading about your heritage.
yeah.
You might be called into hoodoo if you're the lady that likes to, or even man who likes to grow their own vegetables, who likes to dry them and make herbs. That could be your calling in.
Yeah.
Maybe one day you decide that you like randomly just start staring at fire and you start seeing things in the fire. That could
Mm,
be the hoodoo because the spirit lives in the fire.
mm,
It's just it's a matter of you just, and again, everyone is different. Everyone experiences the calling differently, right? We're all on our own journey. It's
yeah.
a matter of what you do with it.
So is it basically like intuitively having this pull towards certain things, like whether it is herbs and knowing the properties of those herbs and using them and just intuitively doing this sort of thing. So it's basically the initiation of hoodoo is mostly intuitive, which could also be maybe ancestral, like information that's coming through, possibly.
Yes.
Okay.
Simply said, yes.
Okay. All right. That's very powerful. That's very powerful because um oh, I feel like this is going to be a little TMI, but I had an issue with my gallbladder,
Mhm.
and I went to the doctor, and I was like, I don't really want surgery, and I went to the grocery store, and I just heard this voice tell me, you need dandelion root tea or something, like get that, drink that, and I was just like, is it nasty? Like, and I guess the people on that aisle was like, are you talking to yourself? But I was like, is it good though? Is it nasty? And they were just like, just get it. And I just drink that on a daily, and it the pain stops and everything. And that's when I had the aha moment of there are so many things out there, different herbs and stuff, and things that we could be doing outside of, just getting medicine or prescriptions. I'm not telling people not to go to the doctor, but there could be other ways that we could help heal ourselves through herbs and everything. And sometimes our intuition is really ringing at us to try certain things, but it also has to come through with trusting that inner voice too.
I agree with you.
So another question. So I know we talked about the spiritual awakening that you had in 2014, right? But I want to really go through like with the spiritual gifts.
Mhm.
So with the spiritual gifts, how can people that feel that they are, you know, walking down a path where they are learning more about their gifts, or if they have these gifts, how can they strengthen those gifts?
Meditation, immediately meditation. Um, Attempting to quiet your mind and allowing yourself to feel your environment will help you with determining like what gifts you have. Um, Seeing where you feel the energy around you
Mm-hmm.
can help too. Um, but with each spiritual gift, it takes like additional practice. Okay. So, say if you're clairvoyant. I'll speak for how I did things. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So, for my clairvoyance, that's like being able to see. So, I'm looking at you right now, but if I was channeling something in my third eye, it would look like a movie screen, a big white movie screen, and it would show different things, whatever the movie is, right? Tell the story of what's going on. So what I would do is I would, speak to my guides, those who were helping me with the channeling, and I would, ask them a question and then ask them to show it to me. What is your symbol for love? Right.
My symbol. Oh, are you
But,
asking me?
yeah, right. So I would ask my guys, what is your symbol for love? And they might show me a sunflower. They might show me just a red heart. They might show me people laughing and embracing. Like that's how you know that you love someone. Um, I would ask them the same for my clear audience, clear hearing. What do you guys say, or how will you let me know that someone's in love or something, right? And they'll play a song. It'll be a love song. What else? I have taste and I have smelling, but that's different. That's more they use that just to let me know who's around, smell wise, taste wise. Sometimes I'm able to taste when people are sick. It's like the taste of
Like a metallic taste?
metallic rotting taste, not
Yeah.
not like blood. If I taste blood, then I know someone has crossed over. That's a little different. I don't really practice that, but
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's a lot of practice asking your guides how to show things to you, and vice versa. Like, hey, if this is what's going on, show me this. Tap into your intuition. I have a self-paced course on my website, thesacredlotustemple.org, where I teach people how to strengthen their relationship with their intuition. And so we have a lot of meditative practices, breathing techniques as well. One of my favorites is the 4-5-7 method, where you inhale, hold it for 4 counts. Excuse me, inhale for 4 counts, hold it for 5 counts, and exhale it for 7 counts. That helps a lot with your grounding. Grounding is also something big you have to do too, because you don't want to be channeling using your gifts and you're flighty. And that means you're not able to hold yourself secure. Okay.
Yeah.
Also a form of protection, if I say so myself. What else can you do? What else did I do? I listen to a lot of different frequency music, like a lot, especially the ones where they have 963 or 369. I felt that helped me a lot. And this might sound funny, but because my zodiac sign is Leo, and
I'm
that
a Leo too. Leo gang. Sorry.
I love it. Um, that would make sense because we both have like the big hair.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, 369 or 963 frequency because it helps calm the fire. What else? Anything for decalcifying the pineal gland. Changing your diet can help too.
Mm.
Um, so I'm not saying give up meat, but sometimes it helps to not eat as much.
So like a fast, maybe.
Kind of, not even necessarily a fast, but like let's say you eat hamburgers every day. How about you just have a hamburger twice, like that. And, and I get it. There would be times when I'd be like, oh, I just want bacon, right? All day. Then I was like, whoa, calm down. So it's not judgment. I'm just sharing. So, but once I started eating more leafy green vegetables, right? That helped as well because it's helping with detoxifying all the stuffs, right?
Yeah.
Something else that people can do to develop, just pay attention to as you go through your day. Pay attention to how you're receiving stimuli, right? Are you how you're processing the stimuli? If someone is crying, do you feel empathy for them? Do you feel like you should cry too? You're probably an empath. That means you're clairsentient. If you're in your office and you have this feeling that Joe Blow McGrow is about to come into your office, you're probably claircognizant. You just have this knowing. You just know what you know, and you don't know how you know it, but you know. Um, just anything. If you're randomly somewhere and you smell roses, and you probably have the gift of smell. So how can this is probably the easiest way. Ask ask your spirit guides to put you in alignment with who you need to know or what you need to see, watch, or what you need to read in order to learn how to develop your skills. Because not every way is going to work for everyone. I think I
Yeah.
read like 15 different books And I took something from each one and practiced those things that worked best for me. And it all just came together. So, yeah, I'm hearing asking you shall receive. So ask for what you want and they'll give it to you. Just tell them what you want to do and they'll figure it out. Right?
Yes, and be open to
Yes.
it.
Be open to
Be
receive.
open to it. And when it happens, it's like a aha moment or a what just happened type of feel. So that's very vital information because I do know with the community, there's a lot of people who question and ask me like, well, I just had this dream. What does that mean? And it's like, well, intuitively, how do you feel? Like what was the emotions that came about? Like ultimately, I feel like people truly know the answer. It's just more so just like trusting your intuition and trusting your gift. The more that you trust, the more confidence you have and the more elevation could come with it. And that's what I've been learning about myself because I used to question everything, every angel number, every
Yeah.
every song. But now I'm to the point where certain things that just may seem like a odd coincidence. If I see a tree uprooted out the ground, then it's just like it's not just like, oh, that's just a tree. It's like I see it and all of a sudden hear messages that come with that. And it's like, oh, and it's just more than just a tree. It's so many other things and it's messages and
Yeah.
it's a lot, or just hearing certain songs. I feel like it was this song that I think it was a Frankie Beverly song, Joy and Pain. And I've heard that song all my life growing up, but I never really understood. You know how you just know the lyrics, but you don't know what the song is talking about
Mhm.
until it came on in the car one time and I'm listening to it and it's just I'm just like I feel like I'm hearing it for the first time. Like
Right.
it was really speaking to me. And I feel like the more that you're open to receive answers, the more that the answers pop out at you. So I do want to say, since you are a psychic medium, healer, herbalist, you got the whole divine downloads, and guys, trust me, she's the real deal. I'm just go ahead and co-sign
Yeah.
on that. So we do know that with doing this type of work, it can um, be a lot because there is a lot of energy and everything. So how can people that are tapping into their gifts, whether that's through hoodoo or any other type of practice, how can they protect themselves?
Mm, many ways. Um, let's just start. I'm going to start with the empaths because I'm an empath and my heart goes out to the empaths because it's rough. It's rough
Hmm.
in these energetic streets for those who are empaths and you don't know how to close I call it your heart center, not fully down, but just close it to like other energies. So for the empaths, it's super important that you learn how to um, determine if the energy or the sensations that you're feeling are yours or somebody else's. Okay, that's like the number one thing. And then once you're able to determine that, you can uh, be able to decide how to deal with it. Do you push it away? Do you allow yourself to feel it so you can help somebody else who may be going through something? But also it keeps it from that energy attaching to you and you taking it on as if it were your own, because that's one of like the hardest things is to not react to all of the energies.
Yes.
So another thing with the empaths closing, I always just imagine it as, a French door to your heart and you're gonna have to close it. Even though you love the view, even though it makes you feel good and you love being able to help everybody, but close that. Close it, especially if you're in places with a lot of people, grocery stores, concerts, um,
Maybe a lot.
anywhere, anywhere. The, and some of the folks who may have more like uh, connections to animals, the zoo, the aquarium, close that down because you will hear and feel everything around you. How do you do that? You literally just visualize your heart being open and you just close the doors. There's doors on the front, there's doors in the back. Just close the doors. Um, and it will help because you're visually seeing that you are not openly connected to the whole free world. Okay.
Yes.
Um, what else can we do? For everyone, mm, And I laugh like in a really like, make sure that you're asking for protection. Okay. You, as you develop your gifts, you don't want to be open to any and everything, person, place, seen or unseen. Um, so ask for protection. Some people may want to put down black salt in their home. Some people may want to use cascarilla. Some people may want to use sacred texts to, say their like castings away, casting evil away. Some people may just want to call on their ancestors, call on God, call on Shango, Saint Michael,
Yeah.
to ask for at least protection. I always like to say, cover me from north, south, east, and west, up, down, and side to side. Okay.
That's good.
Just to keep from the energies who want to bring chaos and spread illusion, right? You may want to do that. What are some other things?
Yeah, because those trickster spirits be out there.
They they will, and I'll say this: that sometimes they're tricksters, um, but they're not necessarily here to harm you.
Hmm.
They're here to test you to make sure that you've learned the lesson.
Mm, that just resonated.
Okay, that was for you.
That resonated so hard. Definitely did. Thank you for that.
My pleasure. So yeah, so just keep that in mind. They're not always there to harm you. Uh, what are some other things as far as protection? Have your rituals. Have your daily rituals that you do every day. Do the same thing the same way every day. Even if it's like one or two things, but do it. That will help too. Helps with like building the foundation of it. It's like an indicator of like you believe. Um,
Mm,
Sidebar, for those of you who struggle with trusting your intuition, who struggle with even maybe anxiety a little bit, one thing that you can do is say the affirmation, like look in the mirror and just say the affirmation, I trust myself, I love myself, I believe in myself. Um, what's the other one? Now I forget. Fill in the blank. You pick the I forget the last one. I trust myself, I love myself, I believe in myself, I respect myself. I
mm.
respect myself. Okay. That will help you as well. Well, it helped me.
Those
So
affirmations are powerful, so I'm sure they will help a lot of people.
thank you. So yeah, what else? Was there a second part to your question? I feel like I lost it.
Well, no, it was just asking how can people protect themselves,
Okay.
either from the energy, like you said, we went through the trickster spirits and just overall, certain things that you can do, having the rituals. And I have this ritual that I do at the beginning of the month, each month. And I've been doing it for about maybe 6 months now. My ancestors and my spirit team, they
Mhm.
told me what to put in a pot, like get some bay leaves, get some cloves and cinnamon and boil it, put it in your mop bucket, and get your cleaning solution and stuff too. And certain affirmations that I speak and I sing and throughout I mop every floor, clean up the house, doors, back doors, everything. And it's just the level of, clearing out the old energy of my home and putting in this new energy of, peace and protection and just everything, for my home, my kids, and everyone that's in, just having that. And it makes me feel good.
I'm sorry. I'm having a moment.
No, you're okay.
So, okay. So, can I give you a message?
Yeah.
Okay. So, there's a man who talks to you and
Hmm.
said, I know she can hear me. And he said, I'm going to keep talking to her until she talks to me. I don't want much of her time. I just need to tell her this.
Hey,
And
what is he saying?
um, he's been with you for a long time, like since you were little.
Hmm.
What do you want her to know? He just wants to tell you what happened Okay, this might sound crazy, but when you were little, did you have like a stuffed animal that went missing or got like torn apart? It's something about like there's something that happened to this stuffed animal and he's trying to tell you what happened to it. I don't
Not that I can
remember.
recall because I had a lot of stuff there.
No, but there was like this one. It had there's he's showing me it was maybe black and white and it has long legs and something happened to it. I think maybe a dog got to it
It could have possibly been my dog. I
because
can't.
he's showing me a dog's butt and it's like I don't know if the dog is just like a brownie goldy color.
Yes, I think that was my spirit animal.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
my baby.
Okay. Is he the dog? Is this the dog? Is this the spirit? Are you the spirit of the dog?
It was definitely a boy.
It was a boy. Okay, I'm not gonna. Okay, I'm not gonna. No, he's not saying anything. He's just smiling. So I'm not going to infer that as meaning yes nor no. I'm just gonna say that this spirit, this man, has was with you for a long time. There was a stuffed animal and something, and it was a dog. Something a dog did it to this animal. Spirit dog, child. Okay, I say all that to say he's been trying to talk to you, not listening. He was trying to tell you what happened to it, and it was the dog.
I think about that dog a lot. And it's this one specific memory that I have. It was my birthday and I wanted some skates. And my dog was like my best friend. Like I would have real conversations. And I wanted these skates. And it was this girl that was in the neighborhood that had these nice, pretty skates. And I was just like, I want those. And it was my birthday. My mom, she didn't get it for me. I remember sitting on the porch and we let my dog was named Fufu. We let Fufu out and I was sitting on the porch. He came running down the street with those skates in his mouth and laid them at my feet. And
Girl,
I was just like, Fufu, thank you. Even though he stole it.
what states? Oh my goodness.
He stole it. But it was just and I remember putting them on and they fit perfectly. And I can't remember what happened to him because I was so young, but that was the best
The best dog.
the
Okay.
best dog ever. So, and it's crazy because I just had a memory of him and that specific memory on like yesterday.
Okay.
It was like nobody loves me like Fufu.
Well, okay. And I think based off of your story, I'm like, all right, yeah, that's the dog. That's
And I'm pretty sure I had plenty of stuffed animals, and yeah,
yeah, it's
I'm,
possible. And it's not necessarily like it's just the story that I'm being shown. But there was something with the dog. Oh, I'm sorry. That was really weird. Can I just tell you because this like this I'm going to share with you how it looks, right? So when the guides come up to me, they're always on my right side. And so when it's those who have crossed over, specifically our ancestors, when they come through, they're always like on my right side. Sometimes, depending on their frequency, they'll be on the left, but that's like different. Anyway, the ones that actually come through and like I could see them, it looks like if I could describe it, right? Again, it's in my third eye, but it's not here, it's over here. And it's kind of like billowing shadows.
mm, yeah.
Like it kind of looks like smoke and like the shadows come in and out and then the shadows like will change color and then they'll like kind of morph into what it is. I'll give you a better example. It's like you see those movies and the people are coming out of like the gate and there's a bright light, but
Yes.
out there like it's like smoke. So that's what it is. It's that smoke that comes out and it changes into whoever. So this person, dog, right? Was like I could tell that it was a person, but how they were looking at me was like, hey, notice me. That makes sense then. But it was definitely a male. That's very interesting. I say this, I say all that to say every day I am still so totally amazed by these gifts because they really just they just blow my mind. I'm still trying to figure out like get my head wrapped around how cool this really is. Because it's just like I was on live last night on TikTok, and one of the ladies asked me a question about someone when they'd be able to leave the place where they're at, and all my guides would show me was the number 24. Okay. And
Mm.
she was like, well, 24 what? And I'm like, they won't let me say anything else. They won't give me anything. It's just the number 24, 24 days, 24 months, 24 years, 24 minutes, 24 hours. I don't know, but just 24. 2 days later, I was back on live and she was like, yeah, he just got his letter and it was 24 days. And I see, like that, like
Wow.
blows my mind. Like, wow, like they're too cool. Like these guides are too cool, and how they share their messages with me. I'm still blown away, and I'm grateful. I'm thankful, and I'm just, whoo, yes,
Oh,
hallelujah, right?
it's really
I
the
love it.
gifts that keep on giving, not just to yourself, but even to other people. It is,
Right.
uh, like
That's I just love it. And,
I,
and go,
no,
go.
I was just saying, I was gonna say, like, I feel it too. I feel it too. And even the more that you go into details, even explaining how it is for you, and it's like, oh, it's like I'm like, I don't know, I don't want to say like comparing, but it's like, oh, whenever I'm channeling or meditating or something, I get chills on my right side. Is that because they're coming from this side? And it's just like,
And he's like, see, we gotta like, it's like they your guys. What I like to say is they slowly tell you the story, and it all comes together, and then a new story starts, and then that gets intertwined with this story of who you are and how you connect with spirit. Like it's absolutely amazing, and it really just illuminates how we are all a part of this like same source.
yes,
Oh, woo.
how we're all connected, even with certain collective readings that I do. And I may get a lot of different channels, or I might see certain things. And to me, it's like, I don't know how this makes sense, but I'm just gonna put it out there because it's showing for a reason. And to see people in the comments piece it together, like I'm like, oh, it's actually, and it's just like I'm sitting there just like at awe at the gift.
Yes.
And it's just it's very powerful. So to you to have this gift and the fact that you are stepping in your purpose, your calling, and helping others and utilizing your gift, because they say your gift is not for you, it's for other people, but it will make room for you. It will make way for you. I know that you offer services, you offer classes and courses. If you can go into details on how people can find you, locate you, and be a part, and even grow and learn within their own spirituality.
Absolutely. So let's start with my website. So on my website, it's thesacredlotustemple.org, thesacredlotustemple.org. And there I am offering private psychic and tarot readings. It's 45 minutes. The fee is very low, $40. But
That's a good deal.
I, I agree, because I want everyone to be able to have the opportunity. It is
Yes.
seeking guidance from spirit should not be considered a luxury item.
Mm.
It should be available to everyone who seeks it. Um, and I'll be the first to tell you guys, like I'm not like trying to be rich. I just want to be taken care of. You know what I mean?
That part.
So, so I just want like let me just you know each one teach one, right? So that's why I keep it at it's reasonable. It's reasonable to me. Okay. Um, I say all that to say psychic readings. Within the psychic reading, you ask, we're together for 45 minutes. I would definitely come prepared with at least 4 questions to start off with, and then we move on from there. Sometimes we go around the whole mulberry bush, down the street, and around the corner, but you're going to get the message that you need to hear. And that's something that is my part of my total framework is that I provide the message that you need to hear, not what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to hold your hand through it. And I'm going to be straightforward, honest, but also with the compassion, understanding, and empathy that is required for all. Okay. So I offer those sessions. The Sunday before every new moon, I offer a class on the live class. It is, I think it's only $15, $10 to $15. And you learn how to literally manipulate your own energy to get what you want. it's a little bit of hoodoo, it's a little bit of, neuroscience, it's a little bit of energy magic and Reiki, right? But you
Yes.
to use your own energy to get the things that you want. And this is specifically helpful for those of you who are interested in practicing folk magic, because it's not just hoodoo that I talk about in class, but just folk magic or even biblical divination, right?
Yes.
But you don't want to buy a lot of the stuff, okay? So I teach you how to do it with just your own whisper, or if you have a glass of water and a candle. We are going to learn how to use our own energy to literally alchemize our lives. Okay. What else? Every Monday through Saturday, I try to host a live on TikTok. Again, the username or handle is the Sacred Lotus Temple, at the Sacred Lotus Temple. I meet every Monday through Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time to about 10:30. Sometimes we go longer. And I offer free yes or no. Sometimes I give a little detail, sometimes I don't, but then also I offer like a mini reading that you can get really quick on whatever whatever is going on with you. So that's what I do to engage with people. I actually like to do that as well, just to sometimes my guides will like change the whole way that they show me stuff, and they'll introduce new symbols. They'll introduce new songs. Even like with the sometimes I'll get frequencies in my ears, the ringing, and that will change up too. So I like to do that just to continue with enhancing my own gifts. But nevertheless, those are what I offer. And if you're interested in group readings, then you can definitely contact me through my email, which is sacredlotustemple@gmail.com. But yeah, I have a lot that I think it's
I feel like you are doing great work, and these resources, these services are going to be a big help to a lot of people. Like you said, it should not be just a luxury to be able to receive messages or receive insights or just guidance along this journey. And I appreciate the work that you do. And I'm so glad that I ran past you and your work and even have the opportunity of speaking with you and being guided to you in a divine way. And I actually want to ask you two final questions, which are the questions that we have for each guest that we have. So if you could say one specific thing to your younger self, what would it be?
oh, I talk to her all the time. Oh my God, things that I tell her all the time. Don't trust that man.
Mm,
Um, don't be afraid to um don't be afraid to follow the beat of a different drum. What else do I tell her? Don't be afraid in general, right? Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Um, you're not weird. You're normal. You're fine. Mm, just, really, it's just a lot of, everything is going to work out. A lot of don't worry. I was a worrier, you know, a lot of put yourself first because I was a people pleaser. I tried so hard to fit in. And then it wasn't until like college when I was like, I'm not like these folks. I can't do it. Get in my room by myself, please. But yeah, just a lot of different affirmations, a lot of just mm, going back and giving me like the love and nurturing that I needed in that moment. Right.
yes.
And this isn't any type of dig like on my parents or anything like that. This is like beyond them because they can only give what they knew to give. Right. And sometimes, although what they said, their teaching was powerful, and I hear those words to this day. But sometimes there might have just been points where I just needed to be held and hugged on. And I didn't need a lecture of how I needed to do better. Like I just needed to be soft and pink and loved on. So there's moments where I'll like go to those memories and just lay and love on myself. And then fun fact, in doing this process, I've also been able to see like when even as an adult, I went from my I came from my older self and loved on myself
Wow.
in like this time. And it's very interesting how that all transpired. But I'm like, oh, I've been doing this. Oh, and you may look at it as it's like my higher self as well doing this for me, but it's helped. I feel um this just this knowing of I'm safe, I'm okay, I'm loved, even if it's just me loving on me, I'll be good. And that kind of goes back to when I said all night long, all day long, it's just you.
Yes.
So get to know yourself, you know, like everything about yourself that the other folks hate. And that will drive them crazy. Okay. Drive them crazy. And then feel free in doing all this to attach abundance to your name.
Mm.
And every time someone says your name in positive or in respect or in vain, you will receive whatever that abundance is that you have attached to your name. I always attach money.
Girl.
Give me
If somebody speaks my name, send a check.
right.
Okay.
Exactly. I accept Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo.
I love that energy because that is what we speak about, like literally being in or being on the journey to becoming your highest self and the person who is open to receiving abundance, prosperity, and knowing that you are deserving of whatever you want,
Right.
whatever you feel you need. You're deserving of that. And being on the journey to changing your mindset to also know that as well and healing that inner child that believes that she may not be deserving or worthy of good things and good experiences and luxury. And that ties into the last question, which is from your opinion and your perspective, what does it mean to you to be spiritually her?
I wasn't expecting that, girl. What does it mean to be spiritually her? Hmm. To be able to show up. Hmm. Okay. I like where you're going with this. Okay. To be able to show up as your most highest and divine feminine self. Being balanced. Mm. Requiring to be heard. It means to be, mm, how are you guys telling me this? To be, it's a knowing, it is a knowing that you are deserving. I don't know how this might come across to some folks, but efficient
Mm,
enough in who you are to where no one can question how you represent your God.
mm.
Okay.
Ooh,
Okay.
look, that was a word. The spirit guides, the spirit team, they talking.
That was probably the pastors coming through. I have like three, I have three ancestors that I know of that were pastors. And sometimes I come through with like that, uh, that, that intercessor.
Yeah,
And I'm like, oh, I know it's them. Let me just let them do what they need to do at the pulpit because
I'm laughing because I'm laughing because I experienced that same thing where if I'm getting a channel and I record it, and all of a sudden I feel like I'm like, why do I sound like I'm preaching? I'm not a preacher, but it would come out in that way where I can't control it. So,
yeah,
because I'm like, I'm kind of soft spoken. I
I
don't
don't,
like,
it's like I do like this and I'm like, I'm a rapper. And I'm like, you, what?
Dropping gems and dropping bars. Okay.
Every time. Okay, but yeah, that was probably then. Fun fact, one of the pastors, one one of the pastors used to well, they call it a prophet, but they were a psychic and they did tarot. But shh,
Shh. You,
don't talk.
I was gonna say, what was that, Wayne's brothers or Pops? He'd be like, "Don't tell nobody." I immediately saw that in my head, like, "Shh, don't you tell nobody." Oh man. And um, I've been learning more about my grandmother who's crossed over, and in her doing of like, divination and everything too. And she's like, don't go telling, my daughter this because my mom, she's a preacher. And she's like, well, don't go telling my daughter this
Right.
because she won't believe you. She won't, and she's gonna fight you tooth and nail with it. But this, you got it from me. I passed it on through you. So yeah. So trust me. Well, if my mom's listening now, well, now she knows, but that's okay.
I get it. I get it.
Well, Denay, it was a pleasure talking to you, getting to know more about you, your story, your walk along the spiritual journey, the spiritual path, your gifts, your purpose, your calling, and also the work that you are doing. And I will tell everyone that is listening, I will put all of Denay's information for you guys to get the session, get the reading, join the courses and the classes to really elevate your journey on being spiritually in alignment with your gifts and your intuition and your spirit team. And so definitely tap in to that, guys. And thank you again, Danae, for being here.
You're welcome. This is fun. I didn't realize I needed this. It was it was healing. I've had some very healing moments while being here, and I thank you very much for the opportunity. Like you don't even understand. You don't even understand. Like I just know.
No.
Like I just know. Like that they all the astrologists are like, "Oh, Leo, you guys are going to have a great June, 2027. It's going to be great for you." And I'm like, "What? What? How?" Cuz I don't see it coming. But being here and me having that explosion of my throat chakra, I'm like, "Oh, that's how." I'm about to start talking a lot. Okay. Okay. All right. But this was great.
I'd be seeing those videos too, and I'd be like, well, I need to see it though. Like, where is it?
Yeah.
Uh, but like you said, I've been noticing it too, and my throat chakra being open, which is why I've been called to do this podcast and
Hmm.
not just post pretty pictures, but tell my story and get a platform for other people to tell their story and really help awaken a lot of people, but especially with this podcast, a lot of women.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a real big shift that is happening, especially with women. And the table is about to get a little shaken, but we'll
Yeah.
leave it there.
But it's going to be so good. It's going to
Yes.
be so, so good. And I think a lot of women are going to find their voice. They are really going to find, and it's going to be a whole new, uh, even a whole, not just like a shift for the collective, but in every facet of life. It's
Yes.
going back to, it's going away from the patriarchy. It's going more into the, um, how can you say it? I'll say divine feminine leadership. That how it resonates with you. That's how I'm hearing it. Divine feminine leadership. So it's gonna be great.
It is. It is. And yeah, the more people are like awakened to it, the more I can see this shift happening or I can feel it happening. So, and I feel like a lot of the listeners are definitely a part of that journey and this shift. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Spiritually Her. And know that I love you. I mean it. And I will see you guys next Friday. Bye.